We're both recording at the moment. So
Well, I'm just waiting for you.
I just want to take some. Gets
I'm definitely trusting you to only put my best pictures up there, not the ones where I'm at the conference where people post to them like, please, don't post those photos. Nobody wants those photos up. You're a bit my PR for the thing. That's the thing. Don't wave to strange folk.
And I'm here with Sarah Rachel
Yes.
Adams, again in Canterbury, and it's Sunday 28th of June. And this is going to be a 2-weekly blog you want to do?
Yes.
If you want to talk about that, why you want to do this?
Yes. Okay, and it's very lovely today, by the way. Yes. Okay, so I'm doing this to answer a lot of questions because I get many emails and many messages asking me about all sorts of things, about the spiritual stuff that I experience, about my diet, about everyday things that I have in my life. And I think that by doing this video blog, I can answer a lot of those questions, and I can also shine a light into somewhat my spiritual life and what I experience every day.
Oh, that's great. So what topic do you want to pick for this week, do you think?
Oh, okay, there's a couple of things that I wanted to speak about. One is what I call emotional manipulation or emotional targeting. And also I wanted to speak about my experience I had with Anubis. I do have a lot of ties to ancient Egypt. And then I think I'll kind of stream it from there, which I think is the best thing for me to do.
Okay.
So I think we'll go ahead and start out with my experience this week about Egypt and Anubis and what I got from that. So I want to go into the state that I go into that is sort of between being awake and being asleep, I guess you can say. It's this state that I go. I can literally just sit there and bring myself into this vibration where I can see all sorts of things. And I was laying back, and I often make myself comfortable when I do this. And I laid myself back to see what I stream, because I'm always picking up the different stuff from the universe that's happening in real time. And this also ties into the pyramids on the planets, the pyramids on Mars, and how all the pyramids are aligned to each planet's back and forth energetically. So I'm going to explain a bit about that. But so I leaned back and I closed my eyes, and within probably a minute I saw Anubis, and he was like a giant in the sky. And he was like above the pyramid, and where the capstone is, he had his hands cupped. And there were many dark forces, and they were trying to get where the capstone was. There was a sort of portal, and they were trying to enter that portal. But he stood very strong and majestic, and he kept his hands like this over and guarded the portal. And I saw these dark forces from different dimensions attacking him, and he just stood like a soldier, a very loyal one. He stood like this, and every time they come too close, the forces, thunder would come out. He was able to summon thunder, and it would hit the forces and push them back. And as that happened, I could see that even Anubis, that being, whatever it is, it does serve the highest force of the universe. And I think that I was very humbled by this experience, because as I was watching this, the clouds were there. It was very stormy. It was very, very intense. There was like storms going on and everything with the battle that was going on. And suddenly I saw Anubis, and he definitely was holding his ground. And then I saw the clouds sort of open and the sun shine through, and it shined right onto the pyramid and onto him. And then I heard sort of a voice, an omnipresent voice, everything, and it said that it wanted humanity to wake up, and it said that even the greatest deities that there is, that are called deities, they worship the highest God force. So I was made aware that Anubis, even he worships the highest God force. That no matter what level these deities are thought for, many of the great deities, they worship the highest God force, and that's how they got their power. I think many of them.
Okay, well, where are you when you seen this? Are you down below the pyramids, or where do you situate?
I seem to just see in all sorts of different angles. It's very, very. When I first arrived there and seeing this scene, I was definitely at the bottom looking up at the huge pyramid and him in the sky like a giant. So I was able to see that like that. It's interesting because right after having this experience, they came out with the article about them finding a pyramid on Mars.
Oh.
Yes, and this aligns to, well, I believe that the different pyramids align the different grids of all the planets, and I believe that there's many pyramids on many of the different planets, and that will soon be discovered in the future. I remember this from very long ago when there was a sort of energetic chain link to each planet, and everybody was traveling back and forth on the different planets before the war broke out. So I remember this, and I remember that we used to use some sort of stone formation, and that the pyramids tied into that.
Okay, so why was he protecting this portal?
He was protecting it from what I know to be lower sort of forces that want to go through these portals, because they always want, with the lower forces, they always want to go to the different realms, and the higher energy realms they want to go to so they can feed off of. So they're always trying to go through portals so that they can invade these realms and feed off the energy. And that's why we're having, also here on Earth, that's one of the huge things, is that humanity is being fed off by these forces, darker forces, and nobody's even aware of it. And they, initially, that's their plan, is to invade each level, which is not going to happen at all. But it is definitely an experience to help us find ourselves in the end, because until we realize that we really need to do something, we're not. I think humanity is lazy. They're not going to do something until they really have to do it, and that's forcing them to do it.
Going back to the pyramid on Mars, is that the one Richard Hoagland found some decades ago, I guess, from the 1976 pictures? Because it's been known about, because he took measurements and everything of that, where the face of the Mars, and there's a pyramid to one side.
The face of Mars, which
and there's a pyramid next to it.
I experienced so much some years ago about the face of Mars, but that's a bit too long to get into this time. The thing with the pyramid, this is a new one, and I think it just came out in mainstream news too. Yes, so it came out on some mainstream news websites also, so it's verified that they actually did find a pyramid on Mars, and you can see that it's an actual pyramid, which is interesting.
It was brought out by NASA, wasn't it?
I think it was. Was that the article?
I think so, but it's been in mainstream news. If it's not Lucy One, that would be big news.
It came out like a week ago.
It did, but it was just like an article, and no one can. It's not mainstream news as well. So.
I think I do think.
But it is an article out there.
Yes, I'll have to find it and post it. But I think it's going to come out more and more about it.
Yes, I can certainly see things coming out. Okay, so pyramids are portals to other planets, you say. So it was never a tomb for the kings or anything like that.
It was. That's the thing. It's perfectly built for them to travel interdimensionally. Once you're in there, you can just travel interdimensionally. So it's perfect for that. And they knew this. They knew that different formations, and specifically the pyramid, could help their souls travel, to other realms very much more easily and get past all of the different issues that they would have in different layers of frequencies. Because when people die, their souls are being trapped and reusing soul energy. I believe that the ancient pharaohs knew how to surpass all of the lower soul traps and ascend above all of that using advanced spiritual technology.
Okay. There's quite a few pyramids on planet Earth. There's one under the sea off Portugal, I think. There's one in Yugoslavia, and so they're in various places around the planet.
Yes, I think that from what I know and what I've experienced, they're aligned to all the different planets all around, the different, even some different stars and stuff like that. They're all aligned to that. There's a grid going on. I believe that grid system will relight up in the future.
Okay. Okay, good. So, what other areas you want to touch on?
Well, I wanted to go ahead and talk about emotional manipulation and how I believe humanity is being emotionally manipulated on many levels so that they do not reach higher emotions which bring in more energy. The thing is that I call this emotional monitoring. Lots of times people will say that the government is surveying them, they're sending them black helicopters or whatever, they're sending them all this stuff. It's not people doing this, first of all. It's people who are being manipulated by higher, darker forces. That's what we need to understand. If this isn't some sci-fi movie of where you have somebody, tagging you around or stuff like this. This is actually goes further than human. This is dark force intervention that's happening, and they're manipulating you, and they're also watching that you don't have emotions such. They don't want you to have any positive emotions, really. I think that everybody in society is being unpaid to be very cold-hearted in a way. Now you have the whole thing of fuck love going around. I don't like saying that word, but it's very sad with the new generation. It's everywhere. I see this posted everywhere. It's not about connection anymore. They don't want connection. They don't want people to have heart. There's a huge attack on people who are sensitive, or people who have heart, or people who are even in love. They don't like the vibration of love at all. And I believe that a lot of the microchipping, a lot of the monitoring, a lot of gang stalking is to people who are very sensitive so that they can block their emotions before they even, because it would bring you to higher and higher levels. They want to shut you down and drain you that energy. You also have to realize that people that have these emotions, especially very good emotions and have humanity, are being targeted because whenever you have very positive emotions, the energy of the universe streams into you more and more and more. You feel better and better and better. Essentially, if you didn't have that energy stolen from you by gang stalking or whatever, you would be amazing all the time. You wouldn't even age. That's the thing. So they keep using these people also to absorb emotional energy from. That means that what they do is they get you down a level. They bring you down a level, absorb that energy. So you're constantly in a bit of a yo-yo, and you're never able to go higher and higher and higher, and that's where they want to keep you. Emotional monitoring is a huge thing right now. That's why you have so many people backstabbing each other. You have so many people turning on each other, whether it's families, it's husbands, wives. You have people that you would think are trustworthy that are now being devious, and it's all to initially attack the target because they're being used by darker forces. And this is where also the autopilot thing comes in, that most people are in autopilot and are being able to be used for this sort of stuff. And the people who are awake are the targets. And I believe that stuff like The Walking Dead, where everybody's like, all these zombies are attacking the ones who are alive. That's exactly what's happening in society. Is that everybody who is an autopilot, who's emotionless, whose souls are pretty much rotten, and they're all attacking the people who are emotionally alive, who have emotions, who have that. It's like they're ganged up on, and I think that that's why we have so much like with zombies. People are really because that's what's happening on another level, and we need to look at those things.
So advice to people is to understand this, then to get into their heart center.
Yes.
Get out the mind into the heart.
Yes.
Is that what it's all about?
I think try not to be disappointed. Be very careful with who you get around. Your heart is definitely, I think, your key to everything, and your core, your heart. And the thing is that you need to guard it. Just don't let anybody in. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say, you know what, I don't feel like I want to be around you or stuff like that. If you feel bad from people, do not force it ever. There's always a reason, and that's why I have issues with New Age teachings, because it's like, let everybody in, you know, even let the predators in, give them love. It doesn't work. When you let a predator in, you are likely to get attacked. I can tell you that I have tried it before. I became friends with people that I felt I shouldn't have. Even, you know, I didn't feel like I liked them very much, and I did force it and did my best. And they always winded up to backstab me or harm me in the end. So why that person may not be good for me though, they can be good for another person, that energy connection. We're all a puzzle, and we all need to move in place, and if we're all just like this, we're not going to know where our places are. That's the thing. We're all linked on different levels, but we all have a place. That's the thing, rather than yes.
What about getting memories back?
Yes, about retrieving memories and entering energy pockets to retrieve those memories.
Okay, if you can talk about retrieving memories, how would that benefit someone?
Okay, so when you retrieve your memories, it often will explain why sometimes you feel anxiety, why sometimes you will get around, see something, and it'll trigger you to not feel well. It's always because there's something behind it. I oftentimes, sometimes even going into a place like that I had been in a dream or something, and I found it in real life, triggered me, and that's when I started to really look into stuff and realize that there is a great possibility that I could have been to these places in past lives, and maybe even something traumatic happened, or even something exhilarating, depending on what emotion I was feeling. So I started to go into what I call emotional, where I went to my emotions and retrieve them, and I went to energy pockets. And you can do that by working on each chakra at a time. I definitely like to start always with my stomach chakra. It seems to hold the most intense memories for some reason. It wasn't the mind. It's not your what do you call it? It's not your crown chakra. I found it was your stomach chakra, and I was also able to understand that by working energetically on my stomach chakra, I was able to access these memories more and more and more. And I call it entering energy pockets to retrieve memories or past life memories, or even to retrieve things that happened where you don't know, because they have technology that's working out of time. And it's funny because yesterday I went to coffee, and I felt a headache since yesterday, and I thought something happened yesterday, and I shouldn't have that headache. And then I was meditating last night, and I saw that they had stopped time, and it affected me energetically when they stopped time. I literally saw everything stop, and I've seen this happen before, that they do have technology to stop time. So I was able to retrieve that and realize why I had the headache from that point on. The thing is that I would recommend working on your stomach chakra the most to retrieve memories. What you need to do is, first, diet, of course, is amazing, because you have to relax your stomach very, very much. I think they're just proving that it's connected to the brain. The stomach is definitely, the gut system's all connected to the brain, and yes, and to main emotions. What you want to do is you just want to relax, and you want to bring all your focus onto your stomach chakra. You want to go ahead and clean it, and then what you want to do is you want to tell your body that you will process. You can ask for one memory at a time. You ask your body to pass you the memories that you can process first, because it's a bit of a evolution, and you don't want to pass drastic memories first. It would not be good for your body or for your psyche. And sorry because I didn't go to school, so I have issues with words sometimes. So you want your body to process it in such a manner that it is comfortable with, that it flows. So by asking your body to send you the memories that are not harsh for you, it will start to do that, and you'll either start to have them in dreams, or you'll start to simply see them during the time that you're asking yourself to do this. And once you work on lots and lots of emotional memories from your stomach, you get a sort of release in the end, and there also is so much pieces to the puzzle that you can put together from that. And I recommend getting a dream book or book just and write down everything you see, whether it's images or even feelings and dreams, and so that you can remember past lives, because I do get lots of questions of how you can remember past lives and how you can retrieve soul memory, and that's one of the ways to do it.
Okay, what colour would represent your stomach? What colour brings to mind?
Honestly, they have specific colors for each one of the chakras. I tend to not go by that at all. Sometimes I see, depending on the vibration the person is, it can be different colors. Sometimes I see black, literally their chakras as totally black, gray, brown, green, it depends on what energies that they have going within their systems. And that's what I go by, more than just doing it on a label of a color chart. That's the thing. I see people who are very sick who will have gray or black, like within their stomach chakra. I will see the ball gray or black instead of having beautiful colors. Sometimes for people who are more awake, I see sort of a rainbow color down there. Yes. Yes.
So having flowers, I mean, what brought to mind was having yellow flowers near you, and things like the vibration of flowers. Would that help at all?
It does, to have flowers around, and to have crystals around. I put all sorts of chakra stones, crystals, flowers, plants, anything like that, you know. And if you want to, let's say you want to heal, and if you got a stack of books about healing and you wrote on a paper, I am healed 3 times, and you put some chakra stones or you put some crystals on there, put them on top of the stack of books, put it where you sleep. I'm not kidding you. That's going, while you sleep, that's going to encode in your subconscious, and you'll actually start healing you'll have results from that. Anything you want to put in your subconscious, if you have a family member that you love and you are not close, you're not allowed to be close to, and you really want to send them a message on another level, or if you have a loved one you want to send a message to get through, take their picture, put it near your bed, put some crystals on it, you know, it will help you connect to their subconscious more, and it'll help to bring you back together with them. And it works wonders. We can do that. We have to watch out what we have in our presence, especially at night when we sleep. We need to make sure that everything around us, in the room we sleep, is things that are beautiful, not things that will hinder us in life, because that's when our subconscious is the most programmable, is at night. You know, I was looking at somebody that was having issues, and they were wearing a shirt to bed that had, and I saw them wearing this shirt, and they explained to me after that they wore this shirt to bed and they weren't feeling well, and I said, it's your shirt, and it had Joy Division on it. It was the Joy Division shirt, and it had the waves like crack across, and I thought, yeah, it's breaking that shirt. The emblem on it is recording into your subconscious, and it's breaking literally your joy. It's breaking your well-being. So we have to understand that what we put on ourselves and what we wear and what we put around us subconsciously it's literally recording within our subconscious on every level possible.
So sleep at night, you wouldn't want to have a cactus next to your bed, because that's prickly energy, so it's pointed and like that. So a green leafy plant, if you were going to have a plant.
It is, but let's say if somebody's attacking you, what I'm talking about is probably would be high divine magic right here, because it's not force magic. It's you're simply into nature. If somebody was attacking me psychically, I would get a cactus and set it next to my bed and say, you're a protector to who is attacking me. Do you see what I'm saying? So it can also be, it would then, since I've recorded that in my subconscious that it is to protect me, whoever comes, yes. So we can also use stuff like that, and plants are great to use, of course, and books are great to use. You know, if you want to manifest something, I'm all for people creating small businesses or manifesting things that will help the world out. Just write down your plan and put it near your bed, and just, you know, put the crystals. It's really, there's so much stuff that you can do with this that is, and it's amazing. It works really, really well.
That sounds really powerful. I mean, I remember a time when I woke up at night and I've just woken up and inside my head I'm saying, I am love, I am love, I am love. It's like I was protecting myself against something.
When I walk, I'm like, I am love, I am love. I always do that all the time when I walk. So long walks are somewhat pleasant for me because of that.
Okay, to say love equals one, equals God or source or whatever, they're all the same thing. Is that?
Love does equal God, and it is a huge part of God. There are different facets to God's source energy. I think that too many people try to, they try to label it. I think even good anger is part of God's source energy. I think really we're on this earth too to learn our emotions and to learn where to stream them and to learn how to stream them. And they are all definitely sent from God. The darker forces try to manipulate your emotions and pull them down and continuously keep you in negative emotions, which is not good. However, the emotions like anger, they want to keep you in emotions like anger. We have anger for a reason. We are not always supposed to be staying in anger. That's the thing. The darker forces want us to stay in that. But we were given anger for a reason, because it can be used for good sometimes. The problem is staying in all the time or staying negative all the time, stuff like that. We have to learn when to take these emotions out and when to put them back in, and when to use them and when not to use them. That's the whole thing here on earth, I think, is about when we learn our emotions, we learn ourselves, we learn our true soul selves, and that's something very important.
So in summary on emotions, it's you've got to build up this false energy. It's like a spear, I suppose, of the energy behind your navel, and it rotates, and you've got to keep it clean and pull in the energy and not let people put hooks into you and draw the energy away all the time.
Yes.
So you've got to protect yourself from even people, you know, wanting something from you all the time.
Exactly, like I said, predators, and there's so many predators out there right now that it's incredible, and it's good to learn to say no in life and not let predators harm you, because you realize that's your soul energy, that's a piece of you. You don't want anybody coming and taking that from you.
So, and a predator can be your best friend. It could be that person.
It can be anybody. I mean, it can be anybody who is, even anybody who's not really awake because they're an autopilot, so they're able to be accessed. They don't have control of their own bodies or souls. They're just they can be droned. And so that, if your best friend isn't awake, just be a bit careful, you know? That's the thing, be a bit careful with people. I'm a bit careful with everybody. I'm very trusting of only a very small handful of people near me, but I'm very, very careful with people.
Okay. Okay, changing subjects slightly, you're doing a conference coming up in end of July, I think. I think it's 29th, something like that, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
Which is Miles Johnston.
Yes.
And you're going to be interviewed by a researcher from Germany, I understand. Yes. So can you talk about that at all?
Okay, so I will be speaking much more about emotional targeting and emotional manipulation. I will be definitely speaking about time travel experiences that I've been having, and so much more. I've got quite a list. It would take a while to go through, but it's going to be a couple of days, and so I think that it'll be just amazing. There's going to be some very good speakers there too, and I know some of my friends are coming there to see me, so I'm very stoked about that, very happy about that. Definitely you'll be there. So.
I'll be going. There's my camera. So that's good.
Yes.
Right.
So, yes.
Any other topics you want to touch on?
You know what, I think, because we're just starting this, so I'm sure that we'll become better at it as we continue on, yes. But I think that's good for now.
Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Thank you, Sarah.